let's say you're feeling overwhelmed, all the demands being placed on you. Did you know that you actually have a choice to stay in the state of overwhelm or actually learn how to communicate your needs more effectively? You can set some boundaries. What can you reasonably handle? What's yours to own and what's not? This takes time and it takes practice. But what I found is that emotions are impacting us. They're impacting us as individuals. They're impacting us as caregivers. Again, positively or negatively. You get to decide. When you are feeling empathetic and compassionate, that's a deep connection in a meaningful way. It's what really is going to motivate you to keep going and provide that care. But if you don't deal with negative emotions like frustration or guilt, guess what those lead to? Emotional exhaustion and burnout. So much of the overwhelm and exhaustion is happening here, right? It's happening here. Things are spiraling out of control because we're not letting ourselves feel the feeling. Actually, many times we're putting ourselves and our feelings on the back burner because we're not taking time. And so we get to the point where over time, we're no longer feeling anything. But I'm going to tell you that stress, it's affecting you physically. It's affecting you mentally. It's affecting you spiritually. And that overwhelm, that emotional overwhelm, because the drain, it's affecting we're poor decision makers. We have a poor quality of life. And so it's important for us to understand how to deal with them, because that repression of stuffing the emotions down over time, it actually is leading to anxiety and depression, flat affect, no feelings. Because you know what? When you push down the stuff you don't know how to deal with and the yuck, you're pushing down the good that you want to experience. And so we need some strategies to learn how to manage our emotions. And one of those is prioritizing your self-care. It's learning how to move and have some regular exercise. And I'm not talking going to the gym and all that stuff. I'm actually just talking simply about get outside and go for a 5-minute walk. Do some deep breathing, journal, pursue a hobby, read a book, find ways to relax on a nice day. I don't know if you've got a backyard and you can put a hammock out there. Take a few moments. If you need to get professional help or counseling, do that. Join support groups. The key in all of this is don't do it with the purpose of simply venting and not moving forward. We want to have practical techniques and stuff that help us stay grounded and move us forward, right? Sometimes it's as simple as doing a breathing exercise. Do this. Inhale for about 4 seconds, breathing in. Hold that breath for about 5 to 7 seconds. And then slowly over about 8 seconds, let it go out. It's amazing how just sometimes in the midst of being irritable and frustrated, that will calm you and get you grounded during a stressful moment. And then the other thing is, we're going to be having tools throughout the week, is understanding how do you set healthy boundaries to protect you. Because see, emotions like guilt and fear and all of those things, they can actually make setting boundaries challenging. But it's important for us, especially for sustainability. I've been 28 years at this, understanding the importance of scheduling personal time for myself and taking short breaks is key. If I'm not taking care of me, it's very easy for me to go into a state of overwhelm. I need space. I need moments of rest, ways of recharging. But when we fail to set boundaries because of these roles that we're taking on, and some of them aren't ours, I actually recommend that you take some time. I've included in the additional resources a podcast. It's called 10 Things You Are Not Responsible For. You see, oftentimes a lot of the overwhelm is coming from us taking on things that aren't ours to take on in the first place. So we often struggle if you're a people pleaser or you let other people control your emotions, you know, or we try to fix our feelings, but you know what? Feelings weren't meant to be fixed. They were meant to be felt. And so learning to let yourself feel and reconnect with those emotions is actually going to allow you to set healthier boundaries, and you're going to have a healthier emotional life. Because guess what? If you've been caregiving for any length of time, you know the many waves of emotions, right? And so I want us to take time this week to start looking at boundaries, your emotions, managing your expectations, protecting your physical, emotional, and mental well-being. Okay? Give yourself permission. Assert yourself. Take the personal space. I want you to reflect on these things and use the tools, and then learn how to communicate those, right? Find good, healthy ways of expressing your feelings, right? So those are going to be really important things over the next few weeks. And I just want to tell you, unlearning things that you've always done, whether it be to cope, conceal, or why am I drawing a blank? Control. Those things, that unlearning those things are hard. And the fact is, what we do as caregivers, it is emotionally demanding. So I want you to start looking at the different situations. Again, remember at the beginning, I said we're not going to beat ourselves up. You can't beat down emotions, okay? But we can learn how to understand them better, manage them better, and acknowledge them. And I promise you, over time, by committing to this journey, it's going to make such a difference in your life. So use the tools that we've provided. There's a worksheet. Take the time. Give yourself grace. Realize that this isn't easy. That's why the emotion wheel, as silly as that may seem to some of you, we often need to learn how to name what we're feeling so that we can move forward. Hope